Okay, praise be all. Yes. Love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice to all. As we open up this divine meeting in the name of the divine creator. It ain't y'all duty, it's my duty. So we finna make sure that it's on the record.
Right on. Everything else on the record.
Yep, that's what I noticed. So it's my duty to put what I feel needs to be on the record for the divine creator. Just like this is every day.
Yeah.
I live as if my last.
Right on.
So what I speak to you is everlasting.
Beautiful.
Don't look at it like music. You keep listening to music over and over, your favorite songs.
That's right.
Hopefully some good been done on my behalf.
Yeah.
Where you listen to holy wisdom over and over.
Right on.
For those to come.
Right on. Right on.
Once we get this pulled up, we'll be able to share the screen. He always be to all. Okay, before we begin our lessons, a beautiful announcement. Our announcement is number 7. We are turning the church and Christianity back to the European nations.
Right on.
As it was prepared by their forefathers for their earthly salvation. While we, the Moorish Americans, are returning to Islam, which was founded by our forefathers for our earthly and divine salvation. So we want to be clear. Let me make this real clear.
Beautiful.
Because it's different, just like they got different versions of the Bible. Hey, these evil crews, they made their way into Islam.
Yeah.
So they have set or made versions of Islam. So when we talk about pure Islam with no mixture, that's called Islamism. And Islamism is the way of the old time religion, the God. Man becoming a deific life. Our teachers ain't like the teachers of European nations. So when you come here, it's a different tempo. Our forefathers left a different message for us and what we shall be. So we have to understand, before you came into this world, there was already principles and values laid down by your long line of descent that you can't even change. So when we talking about why you look the way you look, is because you born from a certain descent line.
Right on. Nobody look like on the planet. How about that? But all the rest of them look alike. How about that?
And this is why. It's our duty to know. And it's our duty to catch up. And what a lot of us have to catch up to is the knowledge of self. We got knowledge of others, but we don't have knowledge of self. So the first core of law of divinity is know self. So you must know self. So in the way of Islam, which is the way of self-knowledge and self-mastery, that comes from a long line of divine that leads back to the way and the only way of the divine creator. There's no two ways to live for the divine creator. That's called serving two masters. Islam don't serve two masters. We serve all law. And all law is my Father of the universe. This is discipline that came from the teachings. Once we understand what we are sent to do, you can now be yourself. But in order to be yourself, you must know yourself. So intended here is you becoming to know yourself. So when it comes to the divine creator wants you, me, all to know ourselves. So to begin with, we have to understand the principle that we live on. It contains in all ways love, truth, peace, purity, and justice. This is the way of purity. If you don't like purity, don't come to purity. But if you feel abused, if you feel misused, then purity is the answer. When we come from, as a people and a collective, is we all come from the divine creator. But just as not all the same land mass. We all on different land mass because the creator placed us there. And so we have a duty to where we are placed to bring the enlightenment of the times to come. So we must understand that things have not been said that should have been said long, long time ago. And so a few words as the Honorable Noble Drew Ali. This should be way known. But since it's not known, now it got to get put up. Because if you're gonna understand that you're gonna die, so you got to meet your maker. And if you didn't have the way to your maker, then that means that you dishonor and live in dishonor, everyone should meet justice. Justice does not skip over anyone. Every self shall experience love, truth, peace, purity, and justice. And when any of these five divine are violated, justice must take its course. So what are you feeling today?
Good question.
When you look within, what are you feeling today? Have you been just and upright? Have you been dutiful and mindful to your divine creator? Today was a new day.
Sure.
Did you give any observation, observe to your divine creator? We must understand. We have two knowledge, and self-knowledge is Islam. And in Islam, you have two selves, two inclinations always. Every being you see have two inclinations. It's your duty to be honorable to your divine creator, not to follow the next one, not to repeat and do as they have done to you, but live honorable, because justice will take its course. And since we have violated collectively the principles and values of our forefathers, justice has took its course. Death, pregnancy, separation, single fathers, single mothers. This has become a cultural trend. So we must understand why this took in place. So it's a lot of things we got to learn.
Oh, yes.
It's a lot of things we got to unlearn.
Right, that's what I was just thinking about. Because the pot been filled with unlearned. And now we know what we got to do. Got to get everything out the pot. Put the right thing in.
That's right.
The pot is the body. The mind, the soul, the spirit.
That's right. We got to get that right and have it right.
That's right.
At death.
At death. No excuse.
Our way of life is different. We don't supposed to be dishonorable to our creator. We don't supposed to follow and serve other gods. This is a violation to our divine creator who is within us. When we say Allah, that is all, every attribute, every name of Allah is within. And when you disgrace self, you disgrace your creator who created self. And by that violation, justice takes course. But this is why we must learn to love instead of hate. Because the thing that created the hate was your own lower self. This is the teachings that were stolen from our divine heritage. From our divine heritage, holy instructions were stolen. And they created a new legacy called Greek, Roman, and English. And today they are living off your heritage.
That's right.
That you have no knowledge of because they didn't teach you your knowledge of self.
Beautiful.
So that's that's not a good thing.
Sure is.
That means somebody got to pick up the slack. That means somebody got to help you when you wouldn't help yourself. Somebody got to pull you, grab you by the hand, and tell you to come this way when you already seen the other ways to be faulty. So now we got to move to the way of no doubt. Well, man and woman must know self. If you don't know self, then you don't know your divine creator. Your divine creator, yes, created the universe you in. But that special part of the divine creator of holiness, well, man is the only evil. He placed this divinity within. And now each one must look within to find their savior. You must look within and find your savior, love. And when love becomes your higher self, you have dethroned the lower self. And now you can be yourself. But to find your lower self, you must look within. Its name is self. You have two natures within you. So we have to understand this, because if we haven't understood this, we see the calamity. The most calamities is all our parents are suffering.
That's right. Sure.
If you know the children suffering,
that's right.
So you know if they suffering, the parents suffer. So it's time to clean up the community. You don't clean up the community by picking up trash.
That's right.
Not when we talk with more science. Not when we talking about the divine way. We must understand we have been returned a sacred gift. Let's say that to Moorish America.
Yeah.
This gift is not only for Moorish America. It's for all of you of humanity. If you are part of humanity, then a gift is returned to you. But are you in a clean enough state to receive something pure? Have you been working on your lower self and higher self? Because only the pure in heart will see. These times from 1913 up to 2024 was for man to be working on himself. Was for woman to be working on herself. So they can produce children of wisdom to be future guidance of guidance. Where's the children that have been consciously awakened through the zeal of their parents to live in such a way that you will not only have them in happiness, but your creator as well. We all are responsible. If you have a bumping or a beating heart, you are responsible. for self and for harming others. We have been returned the Al-Sufian to guide us. But this is for those who have completed the task that Noble Drew Ali has set forth and declared, return to the ancient state of mind of your ancient forefathers. And if that message was heeded, then you're going to love the glory. We was told we had a divine creed. That divine creed is your divine way of life. That divine way of life was ours only way of life. We didn't know anything before being invaded. Since being invaded, we have lost our way due to serving faulty religions.
Yep.
And now we throwing the baby out with the bathwater. Now you think morality has nothing to do with you being created. Now people are deemed evil instead of looking within. And this is where we at now. We're at a time of era where you must look within. You must no longer serve no God that is not found within. All law is not out. All law is within. So to find your God self, you must look within. But to find your God self, you must honor your God self. You can't become a God man and a God woman if you don't honor your God-given self, bestowed upon you with divine attributes, divine names, characteristics, to pull you into knowledge and raise you into infinite wisdom. Remember, you have two selves. These was the divine teachings that was left for us. But from the faulty religion, these teachings from Isa, who Christians call Jesus in their text, they left this out. They left you becoming God out. And now you think you don't supposed to become like your creator, perfect as he in heaven. You can't get to the heaven's gates going the wrong way. When we talk about the great God, that is the Almighty, the one that you need to become aware of, that's within you. Every day that we are given existence, this is a time for you to understand what brought you to existence. So we must raise all children and all parents simultaneously. Yep. And the master question from the honorable noble angel was, who made you? To all parents and all children, this is who made you. The great God, Allah. This is what we have to understand. You didn't come from no dust. You didn't come from no man breathing life into you. You came from the Al-Sufian, paradise, Garden of Eden. You may know it as. This is where the evil has corrupted good souls through lacking souls not standing on the knowledge of self. So as we begin our lesson, we want to keep what was aforesaid in mind, because we don't know. We all don't know our time.
That's right.
Let me say this to everyone. So even myself, we don't know. It's called consciousness. If I ask all of us, when is your appointed time? Can you give me the date, the number, and the millisecond?
Look at that.
And if you don't know that, then you might well start understanding the great God, the creator, the divine creator. Because that's who you're going to answer to when you hear love, truth, peace, purity, and justice. The divine creator is pure. And anything that has been come not as the creator, you have to answer. Because you have a brain to think. You have a heart to know. And if you tune that up at an all-knowing mind, to know all, the knowledge of all, and you turn that down just to gratify your lower self. So we have to go through virtuous texts now, because man is losing his way. Man didn't know he's supposed to become God. Since he didn't know that, man done became a devil.
Yeah.
So you got to look within self and say, self, what am I? Who am I? And this is the first step to finding self. We're going to start kicking off on the analects of Confucius, get into these virtues.
Yeah. Beautiful announcement.
Is it book 16?
Yeah. That's it.
So I've done enough for these moments. Pass the torch, bearing to the next God of themselves.
One, in the following passage, Ron Yu and Zhao, two disciples who were in the service of the Ji family, informed Confucius of a plan to attack Zhao, a small feudal domain within the state of Lu. It was situated close to Bai, a region under the control of the Ji family. Feudal lords were charged with the duty of sacrificing to the major mountains and rivers in their domain. When the Ji family is about to attack Zhao, Ran Yu, and Jilu, Zhalu, called on Confucius and reported that the Ji family was planning to move against Zhao. Yu, Ran Yu, are you this? Long ago, the kings of forever times charged Zahanu with the duty of conducting sacrifices to Mount Dahomey. Moreover, it is located within our state and thus is a servant of our altars of the soil and grain. What reason could there be to attack it? Ranu said, our Lord wishes to do so. Neither of us, his servants, wish. Confucius said, Zahu Ran had a saying, show your ability, move into the ranks. If you can't do that, then step aside. If you see your Lord in danger and cannot support him, if you see him tottering and cannot prop him up, then of what use are you as his advice? And you are wrong in what you said. If the tiger or rhinoceros break out of his cage, if the tortoise shell or jades lie broken in their box, whose fault is it? Ranu said, Zahanyu is at present heavily fortified and is located close to Bai. If we do not seize it now, it is bound to be a threat to our Lord's son and grandson. Confucius said, the gentleman hates someone who won't say outright that favors a course and yet keeps offering reasons to support it. I have heard that a nation or a family does not worry, a nation or a family does not worry that it has little, but that little is unevenly apportioned. Does not worry that it is poor, but it is unstable. Because with equitable distribution, there is no real poverty. With harmony, no real scarcity. With stability, your rule, then enhance your culture and virtue and draw them to you. And once you have drawn them to you, offer them stability. Now you, and assist in your Lord to deal with neighbors who do not submit, are not following a course that will draw them to you. Instead, the state threatens to break apart, to collapse, and you cannot hold it together. And now you propose to resort to armed conflict within the state itself. I fear that the threat to the G family lies not in Zahanyu, but in what is taking place within its own walls.
Virtue's gone.
Mm-hmm.
A discordant note.
Yeah.
That's a long one.
What that reminds you of when you look around today's society and wherever you at on the land or setting foot on the earth, tell me what you see. Tell me what you see going on. War, killing of children and women. And just like you said, the Lord said, man himself is guilty. Because this man all over the earth was causing all the problems. He the front runner. He the front runner of evil, and that's what's going on today. And one more thing the sister read about this. It said, because with equitable distribution, there is no real poverty. Do they have equitable distribution over here in America where everybody get the same? In every state? Do they do that? No. The rich get richer, the poor get poor. That's all I had to say.
And that's a beautiful one because poverty is experienced. And that's the solution to not experiencing poverty.
That's right. So that means that intentionally This is planned intentionally.
Mm-hmm.
The rich plan, the poor plan. The rich plan has a plan for the poor because the poor can't plan for the rich. Because he has the control and the power.
Confucius said, when the way prevails in the world, rites, music, and punitive expeditions proceed from the Son of Heaven.
Mm.
When the way no longer prevails in the world, rites, music, and punitive expeditions proceed from the feudal boards. And rarely does the situation continue for 10 generations before failure ensues. If these proceed from the high officials, rarely 5 generations pass before failure.
Look at that.
And if the retainers of the high officials govern the fate of the nation, rarely 3 generations before failure.
Look at that.
When the way prevails in the world, government is not in the hands of the high officials. When the way prevails in the world, ordinary people voice no criticisms. Confucius said, 5 generations have gone by since the right of making awards passed out of the hands of the ducal house of Lu. And for 4 generations since the power of government came to be exercised by the high officials. Therefore, the 3 houses that descend from Duke Han of Lu are now growing powerless. Confucius said, 3 kinds of friends are beneficial. 3 kinds are harmful. Straightforward friends, sincere friends, well-informed friends, these are beneficial. Hypocritical friends, psychophonetic friends, glib-talking friends, these are harmful. Confucius said, 3 kinds of delight are beneficial. 3 kinds are harmful. The delight of regulating oneself with rites and music, the delight of speaking of others' good points, the delight of having many worthy friends. These are beneficial. Delight in extravagant pleasures, delight in idle wanderings, delight in the joy of the feast. These are harmful. Confucius said, in one's relations with the gentleman, there are 3 errors to avoid. To speak of something before the time is right. This is called boorishness. To fail to speak when it is time to do so. This is called secretiveness. To speak without first observing. This is called blindness. Confucius said the gentleman has 3 things to be aware of. When he is young and his energies are not fully controlled, he bewares of sexual attraction. When he is mature and his energies are at their height, he bewares of aggressiveness. When he is old and his energies have waned, he bewares of avariciousness. And what is it?
Extreme in wealth. The opposite of poverty.
Yeah.
Confucius said the gentleman has 3 things he stands in awe of. He stands in awe of the mandate of heaven, of persons in high position, and the words of the sages. The petty man, failing to understand the mandate of heaven, does not view it with awe. He treats persons in high position with disrespect and scorns the words of the sages. Confucius said that those born with understanding rank highest. Those who study and gain understanding comes next. Those who face difficulties and yet study, they are next. Those who face difficulties but never study, they are the lowest type of people.
Goodness gracious. Don't never study. Boy, that ain't good at all. And we see a lot of that. Ain't nobody got time to study because they're too busy trying to get to work. They got 2 jobs, and then when they get through that, they got the envelope rigmarole going on. So I mean, now you see why can't study. And let me remind everybody that system been set up to take you away from study. How about that? Because if you going on a job all day, get up early in the morning and be gone all day, you too tired to study because you got one of them jobs that really put it on you, but you be glad to get off. I've been on some of them jobs. And you can't wait to get off. But the point is, it neglects you from your study. And all these activities, we have to be careful.
Just based on this, it's saying those who are born without understanding are the ones that.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just based on it said those who have difficulty but they're studying. I guess people that don't have difficulties, they're like, oh, wouldn't be studying.
This is why children, parents are suffering.
Mm-hmm. They ain't studying.
I study. Let me put myself on the record.
Mm-hmm.
So I know if you study.
Mm-hmm.
So the time we have now, most people, you got some who study and you got some who not studying. If you always find out that, for me, I'd rather be around people who study.
Me too.
You have less problems.
That's right.
It's always a good learning situation.
Yeah. Good.
Every time you have a conversation.
Yes.
So this is what I mean by those who ain't studied, stay away.
Yeah.
Because too much time done passed. And y'all serve lesser things than I do.
Mm-hmm.
We see, this is why Islam begins with an I. You yourself is accountable.
Mm-hmm.
So we start every sentence with I. Because this is what you have complete control over. This is Allah in man.
Mm-hmm.
All in man. And you made a statement earlier about those who don't have to, are born with understanding, don't have to study, and those who have understanding don't have to study. See, our people right now done got so far off the path that we don't understand. Understanding is higher than knowledge.
That's right.
One, like myself speaking here, is understanding. Mm-hmm. I'm not sitting here looking for knowledge. I already have. Mm-hmm. Talking about understanding. This is a whole different motion than when you're talking about working yourself to death.
Yeah.
You got workers and you got masters.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a master. This is where you see sages, teachings. I got promoted to an Al-Sufian. Mm-hmm. So I'm a Sufian. This is now, you can put this with your crisis. You can put this with your masters. Mm-hmm. You can put this with your adepts. You can put this with Muslim guru, yogi, anything of high nature and high nobility. One who knows what they know and live by the virtue of what they know. So when we speaking about back to our salon, what I have done, you must do, or get swallowed up. Mm-hmm. by the mouth of death. You got two types of beings: those who serve life and those who serve death. The Honorable Noble told us and left in teachings that study, study, study. And it's been over 100 years since that message passed.
That's right.
So a lot of people must didn't get the message. So I received the message in 2012, where I actually picked up his works and I actually began to study the teachings. And so these things transpired. And it took a long time to understand. The teachings are on such a divine level that it would take time for you to understand it.
That's right.
You will have to develop yourself. Every action you inside of self come to life. It was just like a party. And I've been teaching in public. So all my effort has been behind closed doors, helping the people on the ground. And what's left is self. Those who really understood, they have to understand that the only way that you are deemed faithful is that you uphold the divine constitution of yourself and not let yourself fall. Because I held myself up. So when it comes to understanding the higher self is a beautiful thing that have liberated all those masters, gurus, yogis. This is why they receive such high ranking called prophet, angel. These are high ranking stations. Angels unaware. Because you are sleepy self and you are sleepy head and love it. So when we are speaking about where did this honor come from? Where does all these negative abilities come from that we now got to virtualize? And that's the lower self. Do you know people are so dishonorable that they know that you are helping them and they never receive help their entire life on this type of level? And they would do their best to show you that they do not care. It is not even in their state. They have so much work to do. So many great people came before you, helped you out of situations, and you turned your back by not learning how to live in your higher self, not learning how to purify your lower self, not listening to the teachings, not living them out throughout yourself, but finding ignorance as an excuse has become the mastermind of today. Most people I know are liars, just flat out. A standard to honor. I met people in my beginnings, they didn't even have a standard. And then this is where we have to understand. There are the low type of people are in the lower self. Matrix. The matrix is the lower self. Illusions. And the soul identifying itself. This is why self-identity is the #1 issue amongst the Black community. That is a divine crime to call yourself Black. Who, we gotta say, your parents didn't teach you that. This is why everybody is effed up. It is a divine crime against the divine creator to call for any self to call themselves Black. Where do you find any human calling themselves Black? This is called mental slavery.
Yeah.
And one who is fit in mental slavery is ripe and ready as a slave to sin. The only people still in their lower self is the people that are slaves to sin. Your higher self is the greater part of self, and you pay it no mind. You've been around for however long of years. Look within and found your greater self yet. You are probably approaching past your 30s. And lower self is still your beckoning call.
Yep.
On your tongue is lower self-talk. This is how we know if someone is studied or not. Remember, Drew Ali left behind the teachings that says, he who knows well his lower self knows well the illusions of the world. And that they pass away. He who knows his higher self and knows well his higher self is Allah. I don't know if that's hard to comprehend. Your higher self is the one comprehending. So as we get back to these types and these threes, remember the triune. Let me say this before she begins again.
Yeah.
Noble Drew Ali did not leave the honors of the divine teachings for you to be a lower self 100 years later. You can't die a lower self. If you don't want to meet death, you better understand salvation is you being your higher self, not you, oh, I know it. No, that's you know your lower self. You be your higher self. That's your being. That's your nature given to you by the divine creator of Al-Sufian. We got to press update.
Yeah.
Download, download, download quick. And please endow. This is all I ask. All I ask is please endow. When you have an opportunity, I know you spend at least $10 a day. You can't give $1 to an endow for someone who is providing, not asking, providing, and not even asking you how much to provide. Just give what you can, but download and get this knowledge so you can have the knowledge of the lower self. Because if not, then we're going to have more of this. How many people you hear spreading K.O.S? See, a fool loves a fool because you can always get over them.
Mm-hmm.
But with K.O.S, ain't no more getting over. You got the same thing I got. I got 10, you got 10. You got a brain, I got a brain. You got a beating heart, I got a beating heart. Why I need to do that for you? This is why Black families are handicapped. You didn't push nothing in your children, so you shouldn't expect nothing out of your children. Something was put in me, so something expected out of me. But for those, I can only speak for myself. When you raised with a standard, then you know how to carry a standard. But if you ain't raised with a standard, then you might not know just yet how to carry a standard. So come to K.O.S, not to join K.O.S. No, please. We don't need no lower selves. This is a higher self community. Pure and clean. Love, truth, peace, purity, and to the higher rankings. You can understand the teachings that's been delivered for here. These are all divine teachings. No matter if you can understand them or not. These are before your time, and these people honored themselves to make sure their offsprings had a better life than you have now. And since you didn't know these texts exist, this is why we're talking about study. You think the rich is reading what the poor read? You think the rich work where the poor work? You think the rich learn what the poor learn? Is the moon and the sun the same? Is the grass and the sky the same? Is evil and good the same? Then we must know you can't serve two masters. Are you going to live in your higher self? Or are you going to live in your outer, lower self? One is temporary. One is eternal. It's not about how you die. It's about how you lived. Only the one in the higher self is truly living. It's because they have something truly that can't be paid for. You can't pay for higher self-knowledge. That's like you trying to give your parents back for what they gave birth to you. My saying is this. If you can make your parents a happy death as the parents made your birth a happy life, then you shall be satisfied as a higher self. But if you forget in this world how you came in this world, and you forget in this world who helped you in this world, and you forget in this world to remember in this world, this is why it's very important. Well, I guess because we right at the 10. And 10, because these are things
It's got some powerful stuff coming up in 10. And I mean, you got to read it and stop and read it and stop. It's pulling something out powerful here. So constantly things are on people's mind, and that's a fact. Thoughts are constantly vibrating. Now, are they good thoughts or evil thoughts? It's going to be one of the two. Is it about manners? Is it about morals? Is it about virtue? And the earlier verses said, it told us just how to go about choosing our friends. Most of us who choose friends today don't measure with morals and virtue. If he got something that he needs, he's my friend. I ain't worried about no morals. I'm coming as I am. I've been told I was born a sinner and a filthy rag, and I believe it, and that's what I am. See? And when they write this in books and put holy on it, you're going to believe that it's talking truth because it said Holy Bible.
I have no idea what that first.
Well, I said right then and there, ain't nothing wrong in that. And see, now I can see why it's crystal clear that why you can see now they wrote what they wrote and put in there. It was a matter to control you. Because when I go back and when we read the Sufian, and the Sufian said, no man is a slave until any other man. And that's all this system over here in America was set up on slavery. I got to call a duck and a truck. And they got monuments and statues made of people who had the first slaves over here in America. And cheated on his wife, sleeping with a slave. You think the wife was pleased with that? No, she wasn't. Because she probably thinking, and they've been called niggas and filthy rags, that she going to catch something from her husband, sleeping with her. And I can't tell you that most of all the presidents owned their slaves. Is that about morals? And this where we at? And they uphold their history? I rest my case.
Mm-hmm. You better watch what type of people you let on the land.
That's right.
See, this is the gift why we have to. Well, I'm just saying, I can't even speak that way no more. When you come over here, you will respect Honorable Noble Drew Ali.
Right on.
And if you don't respect Noble Drew Ali, then that's on you.
Mm-hmm.
But whatever comes with you, you're going to keep with you.
That's right.
It's not allowed over here. This is a higher self community that is clean and pure.
Mm.
So when it's talking about needing your sinful money, sinful ways, and sinful thoughts, that is not allowed.
Mm-mm.
So you can't even understand. It's like what the prophet said. If you don't continually give to the cause you stand on,
mm-hmm.
you ain't faithful.
Mm-mm. Mm.
So I know where this began, because
mm-hmm.
I am this beginning. So I know who's faithful and who's not. So when we're talking about understanding, you can't reach the kingdom of heaven until you are faithful. You can't be two-sided. You can't serve two masters. This ain't the lower self. This is higher self at all times, all ways, because it's all right. It's all right, y'all, to be your higher self. This is what you've been shoved down and flushed as a toilet down into your lower self.
Yeah, just like what you do. You flush that. You don't want to sit there and smell that. You know what? That manure. You got to keep it going. Then you read the scripture that says sin stank in the nostril of Allah. How about that?
That's what. Woo.
Now, don't that make sense?
It does.
Now, you tell me anybody will like.
That's right.
And then don't flush it, get up and walk out the room and don't flush it and tell me what's going to happen. That whole house.
And there's people who have done it.
Going to be saturated. Man, let me tell y'all a true story. Y'all might not believe it, man.
It's from the lower self.
And would y'all believe that the bathroom was just like that? They used the bathroom and didn't even flush the toilet. Knew I was coming. Yeah.
Remember the calamity of forgetting to hide yourself. It's forgetfulness.
He's sitting out there on the porch like thing. I mean, you know, I'm just wondering where people's minds at today. You know, this is what's going on.
They don't have a mind yet. That's a gift for doing right consistently. Not for people who turn it on half of the day, back off, turn it on half of the day, then turn it back off. It's a 24-hour period. Meaning if you ain't living, so let's make that clear. The higher self, the sky is the sky 24 hours. Mm-hmm. The sun is the sun 24 hours. Mm-hmm. So this ain't talking from life. Mm-hmm. Nothing in life acts like something else. It's only man that act like he's not his higher self.
Yeah.
Woman and man is the same. Man, the three, as we're going through the three things, the three aspects of itself. The body, the soul, and the spirit. This need to become your K.O.S. We call it Montaka, but you might say mantra or affirmation, or we say amana, but for belief. So when you repeat that, you can start saying this moment. This you should already know about. K.O.S. community.com.
There you go.
And download. Get your up your game.
Yes,
and
sir.
For free.
Yeah. Ain't nobody giving out that free no more.
Right. All right. How yourself say, but you might have it later. So hey, I will take the back seat and say, equal to yourself, give back. Deal with endowments. Don't even endow. Know the truth and not the truth. Yeah. You know how much you done did and how much you didn't do. You keep a tally on yourself. Not we keeping a tally on you. This is knowledge of self. You do the self-knowledge to self via thinking and feeling. All lies within, not without. Heaven, hell, and earth is not without. That's within. You leave this every day. You leave earth. You might, oh yeah, because the lower self is unconsciousness, so you don't know you leave earth every day, cause you no longer in hell. So you better understand you gotta meet your maker. This is what I'm saying to you. You gotta meet your maker. And he the one made sleep.
That's right.
So get that in your head.
That's right.
Put that in your heart that your creator made death.
That's right.
Death is one of your creator names. You'll find that once you download and get your divine gifts returned upon and unto you. Moorish America. Now, you won't need no Masonic degree. You won't need no Freemasonry. All the light exposed, KOScommunity.com. You can download Al-Sufian for free today. And it's from the higher self to your higher self. We on number 10 as we continue.
Confucius said the gentleman has 9 things he thinks of. He thinks, is my vision clear? He thinks, is my hearing acute? He thinks, is my expression genuine? He thinks, is my manner courageous? He thinks, are my words loyal? He thinks, am I respectful in the way I serve? He thinks, when in doubt, do I seek advice? He thinks, when angry, do I think of the troubles that may ensue? He thinks, when I spy game, would I be right to take it? Confucius said, he sees what is good and acts as though he could never attain it. Sees what is not good and acts as though he had put his hand in spoiling more. I've seen people like that and heard reports of their kind. He lives in seclusion in order to fulfill his aims. Practices practices rightness in order to perfect his way. I've heard reports of such people but never actually seen them. Duke Jean of Qi had 1,000 teams of 4 horses, but the day he died, the common people of Qi could think of no bounty to praise him for. Bo Yi in Shu He died of hunger in Mount Cheyenne. Yet to this day, the common people praise them. This is what the saying means. Qing the queen questioned Confucius' son by you, Bo Yu, saying, as his son, have you received any special instruction? No, replied Bo Yu. But once, when my father was standing by himself and I heard across the courtyard, he said, have you studied the Odes? Not yet, I replied. He said, if you don't study the Odes, you won't know how to speak properly. So after that, I studied the Odes. Another day, when he was standing by himself and I hurried across the courtyard, he said, have you studied the rites? Not yet, I replied. He said, if you don't study the rites, you won't have any basis to stand on. So after that, I studied the rites. He gave me these 2 pieces of instruction. Afterward, Qing Yang, delighted, said, I asked 1 question and I learned 3 things. I learned about the Odes, I learned about rights, and I learned that the great gentleman maintains a certain distance in relations with his son. In the case of the wife of the ruler of the state, the ruler refers to her as the lady, and she refers to herself as this little youth. The people of the state refer to her as the Lord's lady, but when they are addressing persons of the state, they call her our little Lord. The people of other states refer to her as the Lord's lady.
The first lady, y'all hear this?
Yeah, see, first lady.
This is where they stealing titles.
When you go back up to 10, it asks a question. And it's telling you how the 9 things that people think. And it said the first one was, is my vision clear? Is my vision clear? Is it clear? If you ask the question, if I ask the question right now, on everybody out there on the internet land that's listening to K.O.S., are your vision clear? And it went on to say, is my manners courteous? is my word, what I say and what I speak, is it loyal? See, this is important, man. Because see all this old rat-a-tat-tat that people always constantly speaking, I hear it all the time. It goes one ear right out there because they ain't talking about nothing that's loyal. It's all about the ball game, football, basketball, baseball, or who got shot, or who got killed. If you're sitting at the TV and you listen to all them on TV, they hollering about kid this, you kid that, grown men, and they hollering calling them kids. See, this is what's going on. And when you see all this here, their vision is not clear. Their words is not loyal. And that's what they want to say because see, people feed off all this here. That's why you still hear the word kid all the time now. Every way they call men's kid. I looked the word kid up and it was a baby Billy goat. And you call yourself I never called not one of my sons a baby Billy goat. I never called y'all a kid. I knew better. I knew better. And when you practice that, you're going to keep doing that because it's coming off your tongue, whether you like it or not. And it went on to say, am I respectful in the way I serve? See? If you're going to live K.O.S., you got to serve kids.
Don't that make sense?
Let's just pause for the call and just look at what everybody doing in the service today. When you go out or you run for position and all, you are serving. You want to be a congressman, or you want to be a senator, or a governor, and all these positions. If you notice, this day, November coming up, and it's the election time. And now everybody wants to be a part of this. So they now set us up in a merry-go-round. This all we're supposed to do and become politicians, and everybody now wants to be a politician. And if it ain't a politician, it's some football player, basketball player, baseball player, or some rapper, whatever the case may be. Man, we way out in left field. And the only thing at the end is a dead end. And you don't want to leave this earth and die and never be conscious of your purpose in life. You don't want to do that.
And what did Drew Ali say? What did the noble Ali say? What is wisdom? It is the consciousness. Don't lose your conscience.
That's right.
Once that's gone, all you have is the lower self.
That's right.
And that's that's at the dead end.
Dead end.
The end of the lower self.
Yep.
The beginning of the lower self. So death meets the lower self. We got to move to the next book.
What time you have?
We have 12:27.
Oh, yeah, plenty of time. Book 17. Yang Hu wanted to see Confucius, but Confucius refused to see him. And then sent Confucius a suckling pig. Confucius chosen a time when Yang was not at home when to express thanks for the gift. But he happened to meet Yang in the street. Addressing Confucius, Yang Hu said, "Come, I have something to say to you. You hide in your heart a wealth of talent, and yet let your country go. Can that be called humaneness? Of course not. You long to hold office, and yet time and again miss the chance to do so. Can that be called wisdom? Of course not. The days and months fly by. Time does not work in our favor." Confucius said, "Very well, I will take public office." Same old trouble. The president run for 4 years, maybe 8. Same trouble. Another one come and run for another 4 or 8 years, and we have the same old trouble going on here in the USA.
More ignorant.
More deeper in the rabbit hole.
Lower self increasing.
Yeah.
This is what I see.
See, you're going to either increase or decrease. And if you're waiting on president to fix your problem, boy, now you got to be one sick person in the head waiting on him when he already in a hell of a mess and you see it. And then running for office again. And both of them in hell of a messes and running right back again. And that ought to tell you something about the whole shebang.
Since they
it's not all right.
Yep.
Just like Whiteko, Jacko.
Since they older than me.
The political system.
Mm-hmm. That's what I do to my older people. If you older than me and you diss me and see have you read their text.
Yeah.
Because that's why you acting that way.
That's right.
Most of our people have not heard of Noble Drew Ali, yet alone his, which is the missing 18 years of your good Lord Jesus. That was omitted from your good Bible.
That's right.
Why did they bring back what you said 2,000 years now? Lower self birthright.
Yeah.
We got parents and children have been covered from.
Yeah.
They have not been told about divinity.
That's right.
People Drew Ali teaches and come up with nationality. Whereas nationalistic, but missing divinity as the first priority. We must understand higher self comes before the lower self. So how would you put national before divinity? We work on our divine self. All righteousness shall be added.
Yes, indeed.
Right. Because you bring some crazy.
But now I want to point out what's going on.
In God. The people who dumping oil, they got a God. The people lie.
Yes, see. Yeah.
What I'm talking about is all is guilty. There's no favoritism. Before you do it, if you don't want to be guilty, because divine law gonna take its course. If you violate divine law, what else is gonna come if it ain't coming through natural law? If you violate divine law, it's coming through man. He's coming to get what's his. And I'm back. And so when we're talking about the people who ever allowed that, they are guilty just as the people who did that.
That's right.
It takes two to tango. Y'all listen to Terrence Howard when he tell y'all 1 times 1 is 2. That was funny. Your old science. See, this is your old science. The Romans finna rewrite it right in front of your eyes. And you finna let them do it again. Because you don't know yourself. You finna let the lower self take over once again. So once it was already said, take this and save yourself.
Yeah.
All this that was given, this back in the 1900s, take this, save, and the nation shall be saved. So it looked like nobody saved themselves since 1900. The message was left uncorrupted. So why have we still have this problem? You have not learned government yet? How long does it take?
How long does it take?
Especially to my oldest. How old do you got to get?
Yeah.
You need another year?
Yeah.
You need another 2 years?
Yeah.
Before you learn. The same old thing that's been happening since you became aware. The old people are dishonoring the young people. You better not dishonor what's coming forth. Things was given back then. Things are given right now. The Al-Sufian is for you to save yourself, your family, and your community, and to reunite with everlasting life. And if you miss the boat this time, then you can sink with the lower self. Because that's the choice that you have been given. The divine creator will not force himself. If you don't want to honor the divine creator and you want to honor lesser man, you want to honor lesser spirits, you want to honor lesser bodies, then know for yourself, not to tell someone else. This for you. Know yourself, you violated divine law. And justice must take course. So anything anybody have done, time is up. Justice takes course. We are in a different time or era where self has to proclaim itself. No matter what, on, off line, we talking about self-proclaiming. What is self-claiming? And until you claim self, others gonna claim you and your land, and the resources on it, and everything come out of you will belong to them, because you fail to obey divine law. You rather be obedient to negative law. This is nowhere even close to positive law.
That's right.
And you rather submit, bow down I say, the cow now. That's what you want to do. You want to do the cow now. As long as you got your grass to eat, you fine.
Yeah.
As long as your lower self is full.
Yeah.
You see it. The torture, the torment, the agony of coming through life. What life supposed to be as heaven is. And some people who came before you have allowed what heaven to be disobedient, to be non-grateful, to be non-charitable.
Yeah.
These are the causes of why justice have taken its course. Black people are sinful people by your own choice. You choose to ignore your divine creator and choose to serve these illusions of materialism. Your divine law said never pay a bill.
Look at that.
But you go against divine law.
Yeah.
Because your lower self will gratify the lower self. Ready, master. Lower self ready to serve master.
Yeah.
And so that's why I take two lower selves to tangle. A physical body like y'all. The creator is within these physical bodies, bearing witness to it all. And especially with purity made flesh. And you think your divine creator is a game. Purity is watching everything and taking note who is faithful. So when the name is called, it said, I don't know you. It's not talking about you knew the name. It's about you didn't stay true to the game.
Right.
You got to know the name of the game.
Yes, indeed.
To stay true. This is what staying true. Staying 10 toes. Standing on the lower self. Foot on the lower self. Elbow dropping the lower self. Power bomb wrestler. Y'all watch wrestling? This is what you got to do to the lower self. The higher self is the conqueror. The higher self is the lower self. Sit down. Sit your ass down. This is how the higher self supposed to guide the lower self. You don't turn around and let the child handle the family finances.
Ain't that so? I see all that too.
I apologize. We got to get back to analytic confusions.
Okay. Now, on the 4 laws that I announced, there's 2 more to go.
Oh yeah, that started it all.
Cognitive law. And the last one that this government have set their system up under is positive law. Now I want to point positive law supposed to be in a good way. Negative law is positive law, so it's supposed to be good for the people.
That's right.
Yet we have what they call the department of justice. You know, that's a spooky word when I hear the word department. Because when I think of the part, I'm thinking of just like apartheid, you know, department, and you got a Department of Justice, and now certain people have to march in the street. And we've seen that many times, melanated people marching in the street for justice. If there's no justice, no peace, which means they're going to cut the food until they receive it. Now, if you're sitting up there in high places and you're in control of this, you shouldn't have to beg for it nor march for it. People went to law school and studied law. And all these old lawyers running around here, they know what time it is. They won't tell you. See, they part of the evilness that's going on. So this is what we gotta be mindful of. You on a protocol that where you ain't gonna never receive justice. Quit looking for justice from a European. You never get it. Either one took it from you. Wake up. All you coffee drinkers, get you a drink of coffee. And we'll get back to the lesson. The master said, in nature, close to one another, in practice, far apart. The master said, only the highest among the wise and the lowest among the stupid never change. Did you hear that, or do I need to read it again?
I like it. Read it again. It had wise in it. Read it again. Mm-hmm.
The master said, only, and I've seen that sign before, whites only.
That's lower self.
Only the highest among the wise. See, this is what my son was speaking about earlier, finding your higher self. Mm-hmm. And when you find your higher self, it'll control the lower self. You see what down in the lower self? It says stupidity.
Right.
It says stupidity never changed. And now we've been over here in this country for over 400 years called USA. Yeah. And that's all we see. We swimming in the river of stupidity. We sail across the sea of stupidity. It's time to wake up. It's time to wake up. It's time to rise to your highest self, your highest mind. Because they said it'll never change. And when we look at ourselves now, and all this time we've been going along with the program, ain't nothing got no better for us. 4, when the master visited Wu Qing, he listened to the music of string instruments and chords. A smile came to his face, and he said, to cut a chicken while using ox cleaver. Zayu replied, in the past I have heard you say, Master, that when the gentleman studies the way, he learns to love others. And when the petty man studies the way, he becomes easy to employ. Easy to become employed. You can give him a job. The master said, you young men, what Yan Zayu said is right. My early remark was just meant as a joke. People love to crack jokes and all too. Or they'll tell you, oh, I was just joking. They'll say something. Who is that right there?
Mm-hmm. Somebody with a handicap sticker.
Yeah, well, somebody knows we're gonna say it on Sunday.
Don't worry, man. We'll keep the line going.
Well,
Yeah. It's a brother, man. Yeah, we only got 10 minutes.
you got 10 minutes. Okay.
I can, I'll hold it down.
How you doing? Oh, that's right. Bobby. Boy, I ain't seen you in so long, man. God bless you.
Real life. Yeah. What I do is,
Don't you leave. Don't you leave. No, I ain't gonna leave. I'll be there every time in 5 minutes. Okay? Yeah, because I want to talk with you. Keep trolling this.
peace and
That's
love.
Harry Johnson, brother.
Mm-hmm.
But you should come up in the lane and drive that black truck and be going to him right.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Let's see, wait a minute. Well, man. What time is it?
Let me go back to number 5.
Number 5.
We at 12:52.
12:52.
Yeah, we got 8 minutes. Stay down.
Mm-hmm. I'm on number 5.
Yeah.
Gusain Pharaoh headed a rebellion in the region of Ba and invited Confucius to join him. And the master wanted to go, but Zalu displeased and said, "Don't go, and that will end the matter. What needed is to join someone like Goshen." The master said, "He has invited me. How could it be completed waste? If someone would only make use of me, I could create exile of the East." 6.
We'll stop on 7, circle 7.
Okay. Stop on 6. Okay. Like Zhang asked Confucius about humaneness. Confucius said, "A person who can exercise these 5 in his dealing with the world is acting humanely. Courtesy, tolerance, trustworthy, diligent, and kindness. Avoid disrespect, be tolerant, and you win the multitude. Be trustworthy, and you are trusted by others." Don't that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Be diligent. I know it because, see, you know what? See, that lower self. They wrapped up in that lower self. But this thing is real.
You know what Drew Ali, what he brought
They
to us from the divine
Yeah,
creators.
people like to say it's other people's fault. Like if they hurt their feelings, like if they saying something that's not agreeable, other people not agreeing, it's their fault because they not stupid, or it's their fault because they're not being on that level.
That's right.
But really, ain't you? If you courteous, if you're doing everything right, it shouldn't be no disagreements and no people, trying to fuss or argue back with
That's
you and
right.
stuff like that.
That's right.
But
Mm-hmm.
I see it as if you're having that issue, you need to come, you need to self-reflect.
You gotta check. I was gonna choke you out.
Be diligent, and your work will go well. Be kind, and you will be able to employ others. See that?
Yeah.
See, this is what it's all about.
Yeah, that's what it's all about.
Courtesy, tolerance, trustworthy, gentle, diligent, and kindness.
Mm-hmm.
See, this is what you find in them 5 attributes that you was talking about earlier, love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. See, that's, you find all that in that. See,
yeah.
But anyway, I close on that, and I say to all the listeners, be those last 5 things that we just read about, and just give it a chance, give it a try, and let's see what the results gonna be. I'll leave it right there on the sitting, so I'm
yeah, we can leave it right there on 7. Yeah. So those is why the Moorish of America have the 5 divine.
Yep.
This is why we studying Confucius, because Noble Drew Ali told us to study Confucius. Now I already studied Confucius.
Yeah.
But put it on the record, I have not. So it's time to put it on the record. So this is why he told you to go study these people, these divine prophets. So you'll understand the teachings that he bringing forth. They come from old time, ancient time, even before Confucius. This are 2 instructions. Man, know thyself and know that your great God is within you.
Right on.
And learn to call the great God within you what our ancestors, our foremothers and forefathers called the great God. And you're going to be in their grace. Truth is real, and truth is truth. And in have much is inevitable for the lower self. But those who hear this message and those who receive the message, by yourself, subscribe, join, and die. But if you're not the lower self, study next. I would say be your higher self. And that's when you can come on this side of the grass where it's green. Divine. Love, truth, peace, purity, and freedom. We close our meeting in the name of the divine creator in the circle 7. Assalamu alaikum.